Dear Diary, I need to refocus. Hi, I'm Jenna, and I am the host of the Book of Jenna. And boy, after my break of not recording for a while and just having a backwards journey in a sense, um, and now kind of re-immersing myself into the modalities that I use in order to stay head above water, right? We may look like ducks underneath the water sometimes, but as long as our heads are above it, we're doing okay. Or at least that's how I feel. Um, Sometimes I think that we beat ourselves up entirely too much for going backwards, right? And yesterday in my podcast, it was more aggressive, right? It was more of a pep talk to yourself. Like, get your shit together, dude. Like, you are capable of so much more than what you're doing, and your ability to be the best version of yourself is always there. And sometimes we need a huge kick in the ass to get there, right? I know I do. So grateful I have a partner who is not afraid to tell me the truth. And it's one of my most favorite things about Adam is that I never have to guess, right? I always know. And or someone who was lied to for their entire life about the truth of who they are and where they come from. It's a very, very big quality that I appreciate about him. And so yesterday's podcast was really about having that come into Jesus conversation with yourself of like, are you going to be a piece of shit or are you going to be the shit? And I think part of getting back to who, at least for me, who I am and who I want to be is having that conversation and saying, like, you can't be a little bitch, Jenna. You have to get your shit together because if you don't do it, who's gonna do it for you? And that is the reality of it for all of us. No one's going to do anything for you. No one can force you to read a book. No one can force you to get out of bed on time. No one can force you to show up for yourself but you. And I know something that's like really hard for me is like when I backslide, not everybody in my house, because Adam and I have done a really good job, I think, of trying not to allow each other's energy to affect the other one. And I think that's a gift. Um, I used to be someone who allowed outside energy to affect me, and it would force me into a deeper, darker hole. Or if the outside energy was good, it would bring me up. But I don't know about you guys. Like, I get tired of the extreme highs and the extreme lows. Not saying I don't still have them, I just don't enjoy them. Like, especially the extreme lows, because I feel like it is so depleting and it is so life sucking. And so I really try to manage my highs and my lows so they're not so much as a roller coaster. It happens, obviously. I had 2 weeks of backsliding that was an extreme low. Um and I think that knowing that you have to go back to the dark in order to come out and see the light is something important because and I say this to myself because I will be honest, I beat myself up during those lows. Like the low that I just had, I was like, man, Jenna, what the fuck? Like, you're such a piece of shit because you can't even fucking manage your emotions. You can't even do this. You can't even get shit right. You can't let shit be. And I know that we all do this. We all do it. I can't be the only one. I just can't. And now that I'm on the other side of it, I can look back and be like, well, yeah, you had to go through that because you had to feel those lows and you had to, hmm, you had to experience that emotion so that in this moment, that anger you feel, the betrayal you feel, the pissed offness that you feel and that you felt in those dark spaces are here to project you forward, and they're here so that you can feel those emotions and then do something. And like I haven't been reading, but I've been listening to this book in the gym called The Power of Now, and it's talking about like your past experiences are not you, but we cling to those past experiences because we need an identity of some sort, or we feel as though we need an identity of some sort. And like, you want to identify with that hurt. You want to identify with that betrayal and that anger because it gives you something, right? It gives you something tangible. And in this book, they're talking about like, if you are feeling what happened in the past, how are you living in the now? And if you are worried about what's going to happen in the future, how are you possibly living right now? And I've kind of been like toying with this. It's been in my heart, it's been in my head. And I want to use those emotions, but I want to channel them and turn them into something powerful, something for now, right? Like something for this present moment. Like, how can I use my past experiences not to necessarily create my ego, but how can I use those as a way to transcend the emotion into something that does something, right? Like, and I know that's kind of vague, probably, but like, how do you use your anger in the present to create something that is powerful? And for me, this feeling that I've been having lately is that, oh man, a lot of this stems from the emotions of the book, right? So it brought up a lot of things that happened 20 years ago. And like, I feel like I haven't done enough in these 20 years. I haven't created enough. I haven't given enough. I haven't shown up enough in a way that I feel is powerful. And I know people will disagree with me because when I am with a person in person, you get all of me. Like, I give you my knowledge, and I am very I don't gatekeep anything. I share. And I feel sometimes like being in person with me and another person is more powerful than, say, what I'm doing right here. Um so I feel like people would probably say, no, like your impact was powerful. Like, because of you, I I felt brave enough to go out and do something. Like, you made me feel powerful. And I think that that is a gift, right? It is a gift, and I'm really proud of that gift. But I still feel like I'm playing it small and I'm not giving what I should be. So I've been toying with this idea of creating a Facebook or Instagram page that shares stories of women's veterans. And that, for me, it feels like something that would turn like my anger and my hurt into something positive, where I am able to share stories of women who are incredible. Um, Women who are badass, like in every form of the word. Because I do find that um, women's role, not just in the army, but in society, is minuscule, and it's muted, and it's made to feel smaller than it is. But like, honestly, you guys, we have to realize that as women, we are creators naturally. We are the power naturally. And I know I've spoken about this, but I really think, for me, like, I don't give it enough credit, and I don't give it enough power. So if I'm not doing it, I know a lot of other people aren't either. And the reminder of, we are so powerful. Women are naturally selfless. We are natural givers. We are natural um, homemakers where we can turn, they say give a woman a house and she'll turn it into a home. Give women ingredients and they will turn it into a meal. And that is what we are. We are able to take these things that aren't necessarily all put together, and we're able to put them together and create something incredible. And I know, like, when I went into like this last low period, I was like, well, I haven't done enough with my life. I've not created enough. I've not given enough. Um, I'm not enough. Really, what it boiled down to was I'm not enough. It had nothing to do with anything that I had done or didn't do. I just have always felt like no matter what I do, it's never enough for people. Like, I could give you everything and people would still be like, well, why didn't you give me more? And it's crazy because, like, inside of our home, it's never been that. It's never been like, oh, well, you didn't do enough, or you didn't give me enough, or you didn't run around the house enough to be productive enough. I've never been hit with that inside of this home I've created. Inside of previous homes, I was. And it was always, well, if you're not constantly doing, then you aren't enough. And I think that that's something where for me, I really have to step back and like see, okay, well, did I do everything that I could today? And if the answer is yes, then starting to rewrite the programming of I did everything I could today and that was enough. And that's good enough. And that's plenty. Um, the other day, I was talking to Mia and I was like, man, I'm so sorry. I really wanted to make gingerbread cookies and I just feel so bad that I didn't do it. And Mia was like, Mom, you did so much today though. Like, why do you feel that way? Because you did so much. And I'm like, huh, I did do so much, didn't I? She's like, look, and she started naming off everything I did. And she was like, I'm sure you're tired. I'm sure that you did all of that. And now you are tired. And that's okay. Like, I don't care if we don't make gingerbread cookies. Like, it's fine. And just her being like, look at everything you did. And the fact that I can teach her to see all of those things honestly is a gift because I want her to see those things in herself and be like, I did enough and be okay with it, I think is such a gift. And so today I want you on this last day of this calendar year, I want you to remember that what you do is enough. And who you are is enough. And who you were today was enough. And that if you didn't get to everything on your to-do list, it's not because you're lazy or unproductive. It's because you ran out of gas. And that's okay. And it's okay to say, you know what? I did as much as I could, and now I need to rest. Because I feel like in those rest moments, that's when we fill our cup so that tomorrow we can be enough again, right? And if you're burning yourself out every day to the point of exhaustion and you don't get full rest, you're really not going to be able to be enough tomorrow, right? So I want to encourage you on the end of this year, the end of the year of the snake. Well, actually, the year of the snake doesn't end until February 16th, but we're on the tail end. How about that? You are enough. What you do is enough. You're good enough. And I'm proud of you. And we can do this. We can do anything because we're women and we can create everything. Much love, my friends. Happy New Year.